What's up guys, welcome to this exercisation. Nestor Adriansen here again. Guys, today we're gonna learn 10 powerful tricks in Power Query Editor. Hey, before we get started, if this is the first time that you stop on my channel, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything. Today we're gonna learn 10 different tips, okay? So we're gonna go from split a column to add a column from examples in Power Query Editor. Additionally, we also have a bonus because I know you guys love bonuses. That's why I have something really special for you at the end of this tutorial. All right, so now let's jump into the first trick. Hey, before we jump into the first trick, I want to give you guys a quick background about Power Query. Okay, so Power Query is a powerful tool that helps us clean, transform, and organize data in Excel. Power Query is also used in Power BI Desktop to achieve the same results: clean, transform, and organize data. As you can see, this tool is very useful. Okay, so now let's do it, guys. The first trick that we have for today is how to split a column. So let's do that. So here we have our data set. And of course, something really important here is that this data set should be in a table format. It doesn't have to be in a table format, but it's highly recommended. Okay, so for this particular case, this is already in a table format. How do we know that? If you guys can see this option right here, design, so that means that this data is already in a table format. We can also see right here the table name, which is trick number 1. Okay, so let's put the cursor inside of this data set, and then let's go to data, from table, and let's start playing with this awesome tool. Okay, so first thing that we want to do here is we want to split this claim ID and code in 2 different columns, right? As you guys see right here, we have claim ID and code together, right? So let's select the column, and then let's use this option right here, split column. And right here, we want to use by digit to non-digit. Okay, let's hit that and let's see what happens. Boom, there you guys have it. And then we can rename this, right? This is just claim ID. And then this one right here, this should be code, right? It's right there. Perfect. So another thing that we want to do here is to split customer by name and last name. So let's do that. Right click, and there is an option here called split column. And of course, we want to use the first option right here by delimiter. For this particular case, the delimiter is going to be just space. Perfect. And then we hit OK. Boom. There it is. Let's rename this column right here. This should be just name. And this one right here, this should be last name, right? Perfect. That's all we want. And then next thing that we want to do here is select this option right here, close and load to. We want to place these results in the same worksheet, okay? And let's select a cell here, this one right here if we want. And then we hit OK, load. Let's move this to the right real quick. Boom, there it is. And right here, automatic, so we can visualize every single detail. Perfect. We just finished our first trick. So now let's jump into the next one, pivot column. So for this trick, we want to use the same data, the data that we just got. So Control C to copy this data, Control V to paste this data right here. Okay. If we want to rename this table. This should be big number 2. Perfect. So now let's select any cell within this data. Go to data right here from table. Before we do that, so we want to pivot columns here. Okay, so we have right here month. So our goal is to have every single month in just one column. And of course, we want to also have claims represented, okay, for every single month and for every single customer as well. So let's do that. Data from table, and right here, so we want to pivot this column month, right? Let's select month, go to transform, pivot column, and right here for values we need to select claims, right? And let's hit this one right here, sum. Perfect, we need sum of claims, and then we hit OK. Boom, there it is, my friends. That's all we want. We can also reorganize the months better if we want. Perfect. And then home, and right here close and load to. Of course, we want to place this data into the same worksheet. Let's select the cell where we want to place this data. It's going to be right here, and then we hit OK. Load. Boom, there it is, my friends. That's how it works. Perfect. All right, so now let's go to the next trick. So the next trick is how to replace values. This is very, very useful, my friends. I've been using this option so many times at work. So let's do it. Let's copy this data right here. Control C. And right here, let's place this data right here. Control V. Perfect. If we want, we can rename this table as well, design, and this should be trick number 3. Perfect. We can put the cursor within this data from table. And what we want to do here is, while it's loading, we want to change the code for a couple of customers, okay? So let's say that we want to change the code for Maria White and Martin Johnson. So let's do that. So we want to select code here, right click, and then replace values. So we want to replace Maria White is right there. So the code is AB, and then we want to replace with the initials of her name and last name. In this case, this should be M and W. Okay, and then we hit OK. Boom, perfect. So now let's do this for Martin Johnson. Let's select this column again, and then there is an option here, replace values. So there are different ways to do the same thing here, okay? So value to find, in this case, this should be AL, right? Replace with MJ. Then we hit OK. There you guys have it. So that's all we want. Let's select right here, close and load to existing worksheet. And let's select the cell where we want to place these changes. And of course, we want to place it right here. And then we hit OK. Load. We're gonna home right here and then select this option right there. So we can visualize every single detail right there. Guys, that's how it works. Very, very useful tool. So now let's go to the next trick, multiply columns. So here we have 3 different ways, okay? So what we wanna do here is basically multiply cost per claim with the number of claims, right? So let's place the cursor within this data again, from table. It's loading. So we need to select the columns that we want to multiply. In this case, this column and then claims as well. Right click, then let's select product. Perfect. That's all we want. That's how it works, my friends. Let's delete this step real quick and let's use the second step. It's basically the same. So this is very similar. Let's select these columns. If we want to select multiple columns, hold down Control and then look for the other column. Boom, there it is. So what we want to do here is go to Add Column here. And then let's select Standard here, and then there is an option called Multiply. And let's see what happens. Boom, we get the same result, right? And the other option here is, let's delete this step. I want to give you guys options so you can use the option that you feel more comfortable, okay, with. The next option is to add a column, a custom column right here. We want to multiply, of course, cost per claim times claims. No syntax errors have been detected. Perfect. And then we hit OK. Boom. There it is. And then you can customize this, right? You can call this total claim cost. So that's all we want. We need to go to Home, close and load to. Same strategy here. Let's select a cell within this worksheet, and it's right here. And then we hit OK, and then load. And then if we want to visualize every single detail, it's right there. Perfect. We just finished our fourth trick. All right, so what we're gonna do here is basically join or merge columns. Okay, so here we have claim ID, here we have code, we also have name, and we also have last name. So our goal is to create a unique claim code. So these two columns should be together. And also customer should be in just one column. So this should be in just one column. So we are basically doing the opposite that we just performed in our previous tricks. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Let's put the cursor within this data set and then data from table. So let's select the two columns that we want to merge. In this case, these are the two columns. Right click if we want, and then merge columns. And in this case, what we want to do here is select custom. So the separator should be a hyphen here. And then of course we want to merge these two columns. And then we hit OK. And let's see what happens. Boom. See? Now let's rename this column. Let's call this claim code. All right. So the other question was to have these two columns in just one. We select these two columns, right click, merge columns. Okay. And of course we want to use right here custom as well. For this particular case, we're going to use comma and space. Okay. If we want to rename the column here, we can do that. We can call this customer if we want. And then we hit OK, and let's see what happens. Boom. There you guys have it. So that's all we want for this trick. And then let's save these changes. Close and load to existing worksheet. Let's select the cell here, right here. Hit OK. Load. Home right here. Perfect. All right, so now let's jump into the next trick. Fill up and fill down data. So this is a very, very useful tool, my friends. If you guys want to create a pivot table and you have blanks right here, so this is a headache to create a pivot table. So that's why we also see right here subtotal here. So this is not the format that we need to create a pivot table. Okay, so let's select any cell within this data here, from table. Now let's select the column where we want to make changes. This is the column, right click, and then there is an option here, it says fill. And in this case, we need to use fill down, right? Boom. Perfect. What else? We don't care about this subtotal. So what we want to do here is basically filter subtotal. We don't need this. And then we hit OK. And then that's all we want. So now this data is ready. So we can easily create a pivot table. Okay, so let's close this and load to. Of course, we want to select existing worksheet right here. Let's select the cell where we want to place this data. Right here, we hit OK. Load, boom, home right here. Perfect. See? So now we can easily create a pivot table if we want. So Alt N V, this is a shortcut to create a pivot table, existing worksheet, and right here, hit OK. If you guys want to learn more about shortcuts, I'm going to share with you guys a link as well. I have a tutorial about shortcuts as well. Okay. All right. So now let's say product claim here. Now we can easily create a pivot table with this data, with the data that we just reorganized and clean. All right. So now let's jump into the next trick. Split into rows. So let's do that. So what we have here is, if you guys can see this column F. So we have right here a customer that has different claim products, right? And we want to have every claim product in a single row. So that's what we're going to do, okay? So let's select any cell within this data again, from table. So let's select this column, and now let's go to split column right here. And in this case, we're going to use the limiter. This is the sweetest part of this trick, my friends. Let's select here, comma. This is the limiter, comma. And then we need to select advanced options right here. And in this case, we need to split into rows. Okay? So after we do that, let's hit OK and see what happens. Boom! See right here, every claim product has its own row. But there is something here that it's not appropriate. For example, for Mrs. McFarland, for February, so initially we had two claims, right? This customer claimed a TV and also a microwave, right? But when we do this change, we have right here 4 claims, and this is inaccurate, right? So what we want to do here, we don't care about this, remove this. Perfect. That's all we want. Okay, so now let's close and load to existing worksheet. Let's select the cell. It's gonna be right here. Hit OK. Load. Boom. There it is. There it is, my friends. That's all we want for this trick. Perfect. Now let's jump into the next trick. Add a conditional column. Okay, so here we have some information. So we know that DHL, it's an international shipping company. FedEx, UPS, and USPS is a domestic shipping company. Also, we have right here, if collected premium is greater than or equal to 500, so this claim is profitable. Okay. All right. So this is our data. And the first thing that we're going to do here is add a domestic international column based on the shipping company, right? So let's select any cell within this data again, from table. And let's go to add column, and let's use conditional column. Okay, so if the delivery company equals to DHL, so this should be international. That's what we said, international. Perfect. If this is not DHL, so this should be domestic. Of course, this column should be called international and domestic if we want. Okay, and then let's hit OK and let's see what happens. Boom! We can move this column to the left. It's right there, so we can visualize the changes better. DHL International, FedEx Domestic, DHL right here, International. It seems like everything looks perfect. All right, so now the next question was if collective premium is greater than or equal to 500, so the claim is profitable. So let's do that. All right, so what we're gonna do here is conditional column. We can call this profitability if we want. All right, so if collected premium is greater than or equal to 500, what's the output here? So this company or this claim should be profitable. But we're gonna use right here an emoji. Okay, so let's do that. There is an option here. Hold down the Windows key and then press period from your keyboard. Okay, boom. So now you have the option right here. So if the collected premium is greater or equal to 500, so the claim is profitable. So you have to be happy. Okay, we're gonna use this face right here. Perfect. So if this is not the case, it means that this claim is not profitable. So you should be unhappy. Hold down the Windows key, press period from your keyboard. It's right there. And then let's look for a sad face right there. Perfect. And then we hit OK. Boom. See right there? 250, less than 500, sad face. 1,000 right here, greater than 500. So we have a happy face right there. All right, that's all we want for this trick. Let's go to home right here and then close and load to existing worksheet right here. And then let's select this one right here. Hit OK, load it. Boom. There it is, my friends. There it is. Happy faces, sad faces. It's working. Perfect. So this tool is awesome, right? All right, so now let's jump into the next trick. Use if formulas. Okay, so we're gonna use if formulas because we can play with formulas here. Okay, so let's do that. Right here, we need to add the delivery company by country column. And remember that DHL is from Germany and the other companies are from the USA. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. Remember that the column should be called delivery company by country. Okay, let's do that. Data, front table, and for this particular case, we want to use this option right here, add column, custom column. So this should be called delivery company by country. Of course, we want to have right here an if formula. Okay, so if the delivery company, we need to place right here if. There are three parts right here. If, then, else. Remember that. If delivery company is equal to DHL, this is text, that's why we're using quotation marks. Then what happens? This should be called Germany, right? Else, it should be USA. This is text. We need to use quotation marks as well. Okay, so now it says right here, no syntax errors have been detected. So we are good to go now. Okay, let's hit OK and let's see what happens. Boom! There it is, guys. We can drag this to the left if we want. DHL Germany, FedEx USA, DHL Germany. The other delivery companies are from the USA. Perfect. It's working fine. All right. Let's save these changes. Home right here. We can go home right here. Boom, there it is. Perfect. So now let's jump into the last trick. Add a column from examples. Very, very helpful as well. As you guys can see right here, we have product claim, and of course we have right here information that we don't need. In this case, if you guys can see, small number 2 for TV, number 3 for printer, PlayStation has number 4 as well. We don't care about those small numbers, right? So we need to clean that from this column. Also, for collected premium, you guys can see right here different characters, right? We have numbers, we have hyphens there. We also have right here just numbers. We also have right here different formats. So what we want to do here is clean these two columns. How do we do that? This is how we do that. We need to add a column from examples. Let's select any cell within this data from table, add column from examples, and let's do it, guys. This is gonna be fun. Trust me. Let's clean product claim. TV, right there. Enter. Quickly, right? That's what we need. We don't care about number 2, TV, but have to be careful here. Printer, still, we have the issue. So let's type right here. Printer, that's what we need. Enter. Perfect. We just clean printer. And guess what? We also clean PlayStation and microwave. That's what we need. Okay, so let's hit OK. Boom. That's what we want. We don't care about this column anymore. Right click, remove. And we can rename this one right here. So let's do the same for this column for collected premium. Add column from examples, and right here, let's type 250. Enter. Perfect. 250 works fine. Be careful here. This should be 150 only because our printer is not 150,000 or 15,000. Now that's wrong. So this should be 150. Be careful here, okay? Enter. Perfect. We fixed the issue for printer. So now PlayStation, this should be 1,000, right? Enter. Perfect. So now, if you guys can see for microwave, it's also 600. That's what we need. All right. Let's hit OK. Boom. There you guys have it. So now we don't care about this column anymore. Right click, remove. And we can rename this column as well. So now let's save these changes. That's all we want for this trick. Perfect. Perfect, my friends. Awesome. All right, so we have a bonus, right? Remember that? Let's go to the bonus real quick. 11. Use first row as headers and remove top and bottom rows. So we have this data here. Of course, we have this data is not clean. We need to clean this data. So how do we do that? Let's select this data from table. Okay, perfect. We know for sure that the first column should be claim ID. The next one, claim date, product claim, and then collected premium, right? So what we want to do here is basically use first row as headers. Boom. What else? We don't care about this first row anymore because this is just testing, right? So the real numbers are, or the real information is right here. For claim ID, there is code right there. For claim date, there's also date. In this case, we need to change the format, right? But this should be date. Okay, so let's delete the first row. So remove rows right here. Remove top rows. We want to remove the first row. Okay. Boom. That looks better now. What else? If we had data that we didn't want, we can also remove bottom rows right here. There's an option right there as well. Okay, but you guys have the idea here. Okay, so if we want to change here, of course this should be date. You can select date right here if you want. You can make the changes that you want right here. This should be text, perfect. Collected premium, this should be currency. You can make the changes that you prefer here. Okay, and also you can edit right here the headers if you want. It should be just product claim. Right here, double click again, and collected premium if you want. You can put this in parentheses. This should be US dollars. All right, so that's all we want for this trick. Everything looks clean and very well organized. So now let's go to close and load to existing worksheet. Boom, perfect, clean data. All right, guys, as you can see, Power Query is a powerful tool. It can help us clean, transform, and organize data. Okay, so now let's go back to the presentation and see what else we have. All right, guys, that was it. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. As always, if you found this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to miss anything. Thank you guys, and see you in my next tutorial.